This is Aaron Koopman from Collinear Group, and we're going to talk about our second phase of the certification journey that we're commonly asked to help with. So in this part of the journey, you have a production part or a production part you want to modify, and you may or may not have a notion about how to certify it. Either way, you're going to need a plan agreed to with the FAA for the regulations that you need to address for type certification. So what does this phase look like? Well, in the best case scenario, you have perfected your prototype and you're ready to make modifications based on how your product needs to comply with the FAA regulations. So you need to identify those regulations. In the worst case scenario, you have a collection of finished drawings with plans to make your product by the thousands, but no knowledge of how it needs to be modified to meet the FAA regulations. So what are the challenges in this phase? Let's talk about the worst case scenario first. Why is having something ready for production a bad thing? Well, if you've not designed your product with the full knowledge of the applicable FAA regulations, you'll probably need to change your design. Even for small modifications of previously certified parts, changes are frequently required. The use case might be different, different temperature, different pressures, different environments, and the regulations change over time. The FAA is the final arbiter of what's safe enough. By comparison, if you're ready to modify your product to meet FAA regulations, you're in a better position for more accurate planning and resourcing. But you need your FAA agreed to regulations to make a comprehensive list of what is required to get to a certified part. So how can Collinear help? Well, we can help you collect, assess, and document the applicable FAA regulations. With our in-house experts and partners, including FAA designated representatives, we can preview your position on these regulations before you seek FAA agreement, saving you time and money in that evaluation. We can also use our certification expertise to look for similar products or components or systems that have already been FAA certified as precedents for your product. This is a big step in mapping out your certification journey. There are many different parts of the FAA regulations that may or may not apply to you. For instance, do you need to meet Part 23 requirements for normal category airplanes or Part 25 for transport category? What about Part 33 engine components? And what about Part 35 propeller requirements? Collinear can help you identify these applications quicker and with more confidence than you might be able to by yourself. So how would the Wright brothers have benefited from a certification plan? Collinear would have helped them be informed of all the likely regulations that they needed to work on before they could fly paying passengers. This assessment would have also informed them about the things they should think about when flying their own trained pilots. Many companies use the FAA regulations as a way to assess if they are ready to fly with their own personnel. And quite often they use it as a guide to include a minimum of features or a minimum of testing to prepare them for their own first flights. The Wright brothers worked for a number of years on their aircraft before they started focusing on selling airplanes. On one of their early demonstrations, they actually had a crash that resulted in the death of a passenger, a member of the Army. There was serious injury to Orville as well when one of the propellers split apart, resulting in this crash. After that crash, the Army required helmets for their flyers, quite possibly the first air vehicle safety regulation. So what would have happened to aviation if Orville had died in that crash? I think the Wright brothers would have benefited from some of the possible elements that would prevented their deaths and a significant delay to development of flight by including some of the regulations in their consideration. So the element of putting together the regulations, collecting them and understanding all the different parts of FAA requirements that you need to meet on your path to certification is another way that Collinear Group can help you. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode.